Hey! Oh, hang on. What the flip?
Good afternoon.
Say hello.
Good morning.
Let me just switch that.
Hey.
No. There. Hey! Hello, everybody. We're all here. Welcome to the Niche Lifestyle Show. We've got Doug, we've got Mark, we've got Adam. What are you drinking there, Adam?
Hello.
Tea?
It's definitely not vodka in a cup to make it look like it's tea. 100% not vodka.
That's good to know. Got quite a few people in already, which is great. Let's do a few quick hellos and then we'll crack on. We're going to be talking about our favourite tools in today's episode. But of course, we'll probably go off on tangents, talk about all sorts of different things. And we're open to your questions as well. So just pop them in the chat and we'll try and answer them as best as we can. But today we've got Bradbury in. Good to see you. Brian's here. Chef's Travels here. Daniel's here. Electronic Earnings. Good to see you. Joanne's here. John, an eagler. Have I got my eagle sound effect? Oh, yeah, we do have. Perfect. Justin's here. Mark, Phil. Who's that? Rocky Boyle? I don't think I pronounced your name correct. Sorry. Simplified Gardening. Tony, good to see you. Sue's here. Tim and Zen of Donut. So, Mark, what have you been up to this week? Anything exciting?
Oh gosh, no. Yeah.
No. Okay, good.
It was a busy weekend. Yeah, busy weekend. I was looking after the kids. My wife went away for a bit, so just need to sleep now. Like after the weekend, really.
Yeah.
Still trying to catch
I always
up.
find that you think a weekend's going to be a nice, relaxing time, but actually you need time to recover often after a weekend. Adam, anything at your end?
Yeah.
I'm going to see Darren Brown tonight.
That could be good.
Yeah, I love Darren Brown. I've seen him before and he was great. Like proper. He did this thing at the end. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was years ago where he like threw a balloon to the audience and then the audience threw it around several times. And then he basically, like whoever landed on last, he said, he spelled out their name across the top of the stage and it'd been visible like the whole time, but nobody noticed it, kind of thing. I just remember thinking at the end, like, wow, that was amazing. How is that? So
yeah, I love Darren Brown. Do you know who Darren Brown is, Doug?
No, is a magician? Something?
Kind of, but he does this stuff with people's minds, really messes with them. It's really cool.
Nice.
You should check him out. And Doug, you've been on a trip, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've been very busy, so I will be catching up on sleep very soon. But I went to Florida for something called Camp Fi, which is a financial independent sort of retreat. It's about 50 people there. I spoke, which was my first time in front of a live audience. It went really well. It's a very friendly crew also, so the audience isn't hostile. They want you to do a good job. So that went great, but even better, I visited, or equally as good, I visited my aunt, and my dad drove down from Atlanta, and the geography doesn't matter, but there's a town called The Villages in Florida. So everyone should Google this later at your leisure. People in the chat can have a look. It's famous. It's a senior citizen community, 150,000 people or so. It's famous for having like an STD outbreak. And you can do the math there. I won't go into it, but it was like spring break for senior citizens.
So they're partying a lot, I guess. They're having a good time.
Cool. Yeah, it was odd, but very cool. And then last night, my wife and I went to a concert. A guy named Al Demiola. He's like solo guitarist. So yeah, it was a fun time. Very chill. And yeah, I've been busy running around doing fun stuff.
Cool. Yeah, it's more nerve-wracking, isn't it, talking in front of real people than a camera, I find.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I need to get ready for that for York in May.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big crowd out there, right? It's like
hundreds
of people.
Oh, thanks. I've done it before. Anyway, before we start, there's been a couple of questions coming via the Niche Website Builders form, so maybe we should address them first. Should we get them done? And then we'll move on. The first one was from Mark Pereira. Let's just say Mark. And his question is, what have you guys seen in trends in the multiple on monthly profits over your careers? As inflation heats up and alternative investments like stocks also inflate, is it likely that multiples will increase, or is it supply and demand? First off, do you understand that question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
All right, so I'll jump in first, and I'll say my window of time is like 2013 to the present, and I remember some of the early days, the monthly multiples for the profit for the valuation of these websites. It was somewhere between like 18 to 25,
Yeah.
and we were like, oh wow, if you can get 25, that's amazing. And now it's crept up to what, like the mid to high 40s if you have like a long history of earning and like multiple traffic sources, multiple sources of income. Like you could really get a lot more. It's kind of amazing. And I imagine it'll creep up to a point, and then depending on what the rest of the world is doing, other investment mechanisms, it may shift again. But I mean, it's a pretty good valuation, and I don't know if there's like a comparable sort of asset where the returns are so good and the risk is also kind of high. I don't know what to compare it to, but I bet it'll equal out in somewhere like that.
Yeah. Adam, do you have any thoughts on this one? You've been around for a while in terms of website stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. I definitely think there's more room to increase. I was trying to put it back to like what's the ROI, like yearly ROI. And if you're buying a site at a 30 or 40 times multiple, you're looking at a 30% return, essentially, if the site doesn't grow and doesn't decrease or doesn't increase. And then I look at that compared to like the stock market, which is 8% historically over a 20-year period, or property, which is 8 to 10% over a similar kind of period. So, realistically, multiples could still double from where they are currently and still be. There's higher risk, obviously, with
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The risk is so much higher though with digital assets like websites.
There is, but there's a massive hunt for yield at the moment. Like with interest rates being so low, like people are looking for yield. People are looking to place their money. I'm in a couple of property groups, and there's loads of money out there with people out there with money, and they want to spend it and they want to return, and they're not getting the return in property at the moment because the prices are sky high. The market, well, it was at an all-time high. It crashed down a bit because of the war, but it's still near an all-time high essentially. They're just looking for alternative investments. There's that Outstock code. If you guys follow that, there's a newsletter or their alternative investment space. They've just launched their own fund where they're investing in wine and film memorabilia and bits like that. And they're looking to raise, I can't remember if it's 20 or 40 million to do their initial kind of fund.
Wow.
And it looks like they're going to sell out really quick because I downloaded a prospectus and like the next day they had an email to say they're almost full. Like it would be live.
There's loads of money about just looking for somewhere to put it, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's pushing up multiples as well, really.
Okay. Adam, have you got anything to add to this?
Well,
Mark.
Yeah, no, I'll be similar. I was in as early as Doug, so like 25 was kind of the lowest that I can remember it, kind of like historically as a multiplier. Yeah, just to reiterate this, yeah, it's the same really. I think you can balance out the risk, is what I'd say. Like, I don't still consider websites to be a particularly risky asset. You do hear, of course, people losing it all or getting hit by a Google update, but you hear the bad stories, right? You don't hear all the good ones. So, if you're doing things right, then you can be pretty solid for a while. But as you kind of grow your portfolio, you can kind of lower that risk by having multiple sites and multiple revenue streams and all those kind of things. So if you're smart about how you build your sites and your portfolio, then it doesn't have to be a risky thing. If you any one site in isolation, maybe, but not if you're thinking about balancing out over a portfolio.
That actually leads us nicely on to the next question, which was from Niraj, or Niraj, as they'd say in Spain. How to sustain Google updates? Because I guess that's the biggest risk when it comes to having website assets, is that Google do something and it has a negative effect on your traffic. Doug, what would you say when it comes to sustaining your traffic from Google?
Well, like Mark was saying, if you have multiple sites, especially if you're at a point where you have a portfolio, then you're probably in okay shape. It's especially if you're doing things sort of quote in the right way. So that's good. And then, the other part is probably you will be impacted by a Google update at some point. So just expect it and have some sort of a recovery plan. I don't think taking drastic measures quickly and really fast is a smart thing to do, but usually it's like going back to the core basics of publishing high quality content, improving content, getting links, the core 3 things we talk about all the time. So I think you should probably just expect it. I mean, even the most white hat sites sometimes get caught up in some sort of an update. So that's all you could do, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think back to John Dykstra in this case, where like he makes an insane amount of money every month, but most of that money is tied up in one site, like that big site that he's got. And he said he's had it for years, and he's basically said, over those years he's seen declines in traffic of 20%, and then 3 updates later that 20% will come back, but it doesn't deter him from his plan, which is just to push out content. Like over the long term, like I think, like Doug said, you can guarantee at some point one of your sites is going to be impacted in a big way or in a small way, or at least in some way from Google. It's just, how do you filter out that noise and keep doing what you're doing, building the best site you possibly can to try and combat that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the key. If you keep that in mind, create really good content, try and create the best site you can, you should be fine. And spread that risk maybe across multiple sites.
I mean, you rarely collapse to zero unless you're doing something. You might get a 20% or even a 50% drop, which is recoverable. But I mean, the other thing, I guess, is traffic sources. If you want to build a site and you're getting plenty of traffic, you want to start thinking about diversifying your, not only the sites and the niche and the monetization, but also the traffic strip, where you're getting the traffic from. So you're not 100% reliable on Google. If you can start a community, like through an email list or through a Facebook group or through a YouTube channel, and get your traffic some other way, then that's another way to kind of alleviate that kind of risk.
For sure. I think email is probably the one that stands out there, because with email, you're not dependent on another platform like Google or YouTube to send you your traffic. You have complete control then over who's seeing your stuff and who's coming to your site. Let's just jump into a question from Justine in the chat. Has anyone tried Rank Math's content AI feature? Doug?
No. I have not. I'm not a very savvy user of Rank Math. I think I just kind of do the basic stuff. So no experience here.
No, I haven't used it either. I've seen it pop up a few times whilst editing content on my site, and it says, make this content better with our AI. But no, I haven't tried it. Probably should. I do like Rank Math, though, and it's probably the best SEO plugin at the moment. Have you guys tried it? No?
No, I don't even use Rank Math on my own sites. I use I use old school Yoast for my sites.
Yoast. Well, Yoast is still good, isn't it?
It is.
The one concern about the Rank Math is it does seem to send a lot of data back to their servers about your site.
Yeah, it does. It wasn't even that, to be honest. I tried it. I can't remember why. So I did switch from Yoast to Rank Math for a bit, and then I switched back. And I can't remember why that was, but I think people put a lot of emphasis on like what SEO tool you're using. Is it Rank Math? Is it Yoast? They both essentially do very similar things. I know Rank Math have got all these little add-ons, but for the fundamental functionality of site maps and schema and stuff, they pretty much do the same thing. I think.
Yeah, I mean, this brings us on nicely actually to talking about tools, and well, let's talk about SEO plugins. When you're gonna install an SEO plugin, what is the main kind of functionality that you're looking for? Because you're probably right. Rank Math has all of the bells and whistles, which you probably don't need all of them, but there are a few core things that you do need from an SEO plugin. What are you looking for from your SEO plugin like Yoast?
Yeah, so mainly we only use Yoast for generating sitemaps, so we can submit them.
The XML, yeah.
Yeah, the XML. And also for any kind of inbuilt schema, so like it adds like breadcrumb, like it'll mark up the page properly with breadcrumb schema and stuff like that, and site link schema. But aside from that, that's it really. We don't use Yoast for its other functionality. Like we don't typically put in like a focus keyword for each blog post and try and optimize the all green Yoast scores, because what are you optimizing towards? You're optimizing towards Yoast's definition of a great article, which could be different from mine and yours and Doug's and Google's at the end of the day. So we don't really use it for the core functions.
No, I've got to say I don't use, because RankMath has a similar thing where it gives you a score out of 100 based on your focus keyword, and you can spend ages going through your article just kind of popping in keywords here and there, and that's probably a waste of time, isn't it? And it can also make the readability of your article not that great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the best thing is the sitemap XML feeds. Occasionally, maybe you want to tweak a title tag. Do you ever find yourself doing that or not? But generally not, because normally the title of the article should be what you want your title tag to be.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Well, I've just literally pulled up one of my sites here. We've got a couple of other plugins that we use pretty quite religiously. So Contextually related post plugin, which pulls in, you can set it to pull in like the related post at the bottom and style it and select whether you want it to come from the same category or whether you just want it to basically be related based on the context of the article. So we use that. Lazy load for videos, I think, is an important one. I can't get a website to pass web core vitals without lazy loading. So we embed YouTube videos in every post, and I can't get it to pass web core vitals by just embedding a YouTube video.
So does this switch it out for like an image or something?
It does. It switches out for an image, and when you click the image, it loads the script then for the video, which is crazy because they're both Google products. One causes you to fail web core vitals, which they say is important. So, I don't know. Link Whisper, we're a big fan of Link Whisper for internal linking. Lucky WP table of contents to pull in the table of contents. I've talked on Doug's channel quite a few times in a row about the importance of table of contents. We use a plugin called Starbox. It's a good plugin. It's a free plugin to pull in like the author bio at the bottom of every post as well. And you can amend that and you can add an image and stuff like that. So you can have an author bio for everyone. And they're the kind of the core plugins, I think, really that we use.
That's quite a few.
They're all lightweight though. So with that kind of setup, it's very easy to pass web core vitals then. So there are quite a few, but they're all there for a specific purpose, I think.
Okay, got a question regarding RankMath, actually. I don't know if anyone's used this, but Sammy K asks, is RankMath instant indexing safe to use? Will Google penalize you for using it? No, I've not used it. Have you guys tried it? Doug?
I don't know what it's doing under the covers.
No, I've not used it.
Well, I think the instant indexing feature it's an API feature, isn't it, of Google Webmaster Tools. And I think it's designed for like news websites and sites that have current affair stuff and very time sensitive stuff that you want into Google as quickly as possible, because Google wants to, give results that are up to date, especially regarding news. So to use it to kind of index stuff that's not time sensitive could probably be against Google's rules. That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's lots of the feedback I've seen in the groups. People are saying it's great and it's indexing content, and then you've got the core people are saying I use it for everything now and it's great. Content's getting indexed within 2 hours, and then you've got the other group of people, which are probably like us, who err on the side of caution, saying, yeah, but it uses the API for news websites or sites that content that change often.
Yeah.
Like, is there any long-term? I don't know. I'd rather not do that, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
Most content should be indexed fairly quickly anyway, just by publishing it, shouldn't it? And if you got your XML sitemap set up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and generally, obviously people want to index quickly, but just be patient. Wait 24 hours. It's probably going to be indexed anyway. But how urgent does it need to be, to get that blog post up about chickens eating bananas?
Also, I don't know. I sent Mark an image this week about I always laugh at some of the things that John Mueller says in some of his live streams. And one of the things he basically said this week was somebody asked him, should I be putting my when I publish a new post, should I be going into Search Console and submitting it for indexing? And John said, no, realistically, there's nothing wrong with that. But the way you should be doing it is Google should be finding your content through links from external sources. So the guy said back, okay, well, my site is brand new. I don't have any links, but I do have a couple of friends maybe who could give me links. And John Mueller's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. If you can get your friends to link to it. And I was just thinking, that goes against everything Google says, doesn't it? Google says you shouldn't ask people for links. There should be no kind of...
Yeah,
but here he is.
Generally, it's better. It's like asking your friends to test out your Amazon affiliate link and that kind of stuff.
It's called the family PBN.
Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
I have a quick follow-up for Mark there. Do you have to peel the banana before you give it to the chicken, or can they handle the peel?
Oh God, I actually don't know. Don't know the answer to that. We'll have to
I don't know
Google
if
it.
chickens even like bananas, do they? I don't know.
Yeah, that's content for somebody.
Yeah.
Write that down.
I can confirm they do like bananas. We've never tried it with the skin on. So
Okay.
Sammy, I think we've answered your question there. Is there any hack to have Google index your site faster? Be patient, friend. You don't need to hack anything to get Google to index your site. Submit your sitemap, set up Google Webmaster Console, publish good content, it will get indexed. Anyway, make sure you get a couple of links to your site, but not from your friends. John wants to add that you could spend all day trying to tweak your post to get 100 in an SEO plugin when what you should be doing is writing more content. Indeed, John.
100%.
Mohit asks, which is the best plugin to fetch Amazon products? Well, personally, I love AAWP. Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else to add on that one?
It's all AAWP for us.
AAWP, fantastic for pulling in products, doing comparison tables, all that kind of stuff. You will need access to the Amazon API though for it to work properly. So if you haven't got that yet, if you haven't made your free sales, don't worry about it. Just add products using, the site stripe, that kind of thing. You'll be fine. Yeah. Random question from Walter. What would you consider a good click-through rate from your impressions on Google? There you go. I don't think I've ever really changed my click-through rate.
Search console.
Yeah, I might have to go and have a quick look. Anyone got an idea on this?
Yeah, I think it depends is the answer, because a brand new site will show lots of impressions, because what the impression in Search Console shows you is like you can get an impression if you are on page 8, for example.
Yeah.
And most new websites, when they start, they'll get lots of impressions, but not many clicks because they get impressions, but they're not on page 1. So your click-through rate will naturally start really low, like sub 1%, and it should increase over time. I'll pull up, while you guys are looking at, I'll pull up some stats from more established sites that we have.
So I've got an established site that has about 350,000 sessions a month. That's doing 4.9% at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at an established site. It's doing, over the last 3 months, it's done 1 million impressions. That's got a CTR of 3.8%.
Well, you guys are winning. I've got one year with 292 million impressions in the last 3 months with 2.7%.
But that's a lot of impressions. Wow. Yeah, you don't need quite as high click-through rate with that many impressions.
No.
Got another one with a smaller amount of impressions, 368,000 impressions, 2.6%. So it looks like between 2 and 4% might be about average. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now, which is less than 6 months old, though, and the click-through rate is 0.5%. So I guess that gives you kind of a less than 6 month, 0.5%. As it matures and grows, probably that 2 to 4%.
And I mean, I guess this takes us back to kind of our SEO plugins, because in theory you could go in and you could tweak meta descriptions and title tags to try and increase that click-through rate. But again, you're at the mercy of Google, because Google's going to decide actually what description it shows on the search results anyway. Is there much you can do to influence click-through rate, do you think?
Well, I think it was in the last study, the SEMrush showed like 80% of all meta descriptions were getting changed depending on the user's search. Yeah. So the same article, depending on the query, can show multiple meta descriptions.
Yeah. So basically, there's not a lot you can do about it. Google's going to try and serve the best result that's going to get the best click-through rate that it thinks, I guess.
I think so.
I mean, the title will take a bit, but I don't even bother with meta descriptions on my sites because for that reason,
Google's going to choose
80% of the time. It's a waste of time.
Okay, so don't worry about your click-through rate, and it'll be fine. 24K Will, good to see you, friend. What plugins? This is going back to our tools. So talking about plugins, you mentioned the lazy load as a speed kind of plugin. Is there any other plugins that you would recommend for site speed, especially for image optimizing?
So Leap is
Doug.
awesome. That's
Sorry?
Leap is awesome.
Leap from Ezoic, yeah, okay.
Yeah, shout out to Leap there. For me, I usually use whatever hosting company I'm using for that site recommends, and they'll have one that's probably optimized for their web servers. And a lot of times, lazy loading and a lot of stuff are included in there. However, for image compression and optimization, I usually do that away from my WordPress installation.
Yeah.
I want WordPress working on serving the site, not doing other stuff. So I'll compress it elsewhere. There's plenty of websites where you can compress it, resize it, get it optimized beforehand. Those tools are made to optimize the images, and your website, WordPress, is made to serve the website. So I know you can do it. And there's a lot
you
of
can
tools
with
to
like
do it.
Short Pixel, and there's some others, isn't there, that will do it on the site.
Yeah. But if you think about it, let it do its job and then get something else that's optimized for image optimization, do that.
But if you're right, if you're just careful when you're creating your images, whether it be Canva, Photoshop, make sure they're not too big. When you download them or you save them, make sure they're JPEG, PNG if they need to be for whatever reason, but generally you want to use JPEGs. Put the quality down. 70% is probably about right, maybe even a little bit less.
Yeah.
And that way you'll end up saving some real nice small images that probably won't need a lot of optimization anyway.
Yep.
I think the other thing to mention there as well is you can use it's called EWWW. It's like
that's a good one. Yeah.
But it's one-off though, so you don't have to have it run on the site. So if you've already got a site with hundreds of images already, you can install it, run it, and you can set it to optimize and set the size as well. So you can, any images above a certain size, they'll resize them down to a smaller size. And then once it's done, you can uninstall it. So
yeah, that is a good one. Do you have to pay for that one? Remind me.
Nope, it's free, that is.
Okay, yeah, that is a good one. EWWW. What does it stand for?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's just you.
I never remember how many W's in there. It's definitely 3.
I think there's 3 W's in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Let's go back to the question. So that was your speed plugins. I'd just like to add that I've had some great results with WP Rocket as a kind of more generic caching plugin with a bit of image optimization. It does the YouTube lazy load and some other bits and bobs. I found that can really help your page speed scores. But generally, if you can do a lot of it without a plugin by having a nice theme, good size images, etc., and good hosting. Kyle, asks, how long does it take, going back to getting pages crawled, how long does it take to get pages crawled by Google? It's been 2 weeks and none of mine have been crawled.
How old's the site?
Maybe?
Yeah, how old is your site? Have you got the tick box of doom checked? Make sure that you've got, within the reading settings within WordPress, make sure that box is unticked to discourage search engines. Have you submitted your sitemap to Google Webmaster Tools? I don't know. If it's a brand new site, it can take a few weeks, can't it?
Yeah.
Wow, how bad is indexing out there? Everyone's asking about that. Just say in the chat, like, hey, I'm having issues with indexing, or I'm not. I'm curious because it's like rampant now. Like half the questions on my live stream are indexing too.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, I don't know. Be patient. Yeah. Patience is a virtue in this game. Yeah, Justin's going back to the Amazon plugin. What about Amalinks Pro? It's okay. I think AAWP is better. What are your thoughts on Amalinks Pro?
Not using it much, to be honest. Just been happy with AAWP.
Yeah, it's fine. I've used all of them. Plus, I've used Lasso as well. Lasso's a little pricey. It's a little better user interface than AAWP, I think. But to me, a lot of the tools are just, they're commodities. Like, just pick one. Like, if you like the interface or you like the people, like
whichever works for you.
Yeah, I'm not too. They all work fine, I think.
They're all pretty similar. Okay, Daniel only started my first blog recently. Congratulations, Daniel. It's probably going to be the first of many. In fact, he's asking about many. When do you guys move on to the next niche? Is there a number of blogs you aim for on each site? Do you have a rule of thumb on this, Adam?
Probably it probably depends on where you are in your journey. If it's your first site, then I look at putting all of my time and resources into that one site, making it a success, and then using that to bankroll the next site. So there's not really a number of posts. I do as many as you can, essentially. Yeah. And don't stop until it's making enough money to kind of cash flow the next one. But once you get past that point, then, you know, if you've got the budget and you've got sites that can cash flow more sites, like, there's nothing stopping you seeding several sites at the same time, as long as you've got the resources to allocate to them. But I'm assuming Kyle this is his first site, so I wouldn't be looking to start multiple sites without making the first one a decent success first.
That makes sense. Doug?
Yeah, nothing really to add. I mean, if we threw out a number, because we're all a little more experienced, it may be overwhelming and not helpful. So yeah, just I would say keep marching forward and do as much as you can. You know, if you could only afford or have time to publish a few articles per month, or 1 or 2 articles per month, that's fine. Just do what you can, and then you'll catch up, you know, in the future.
Yeah. Focus on that one site, get that going. I think is the advice there. Shane says, I have a real estate site that includes an IDX plugin that brings in properties dynamically. Maybe the indexing plugin would be good to index properties quicker. I guess that might be a use of the rank math instant index, but use with caution, as we've said. Joanne says, should you even put in a meta description? I think we've all agreed that that's probably a waste of time.
Yep.
A lot of people, with their, I'm just catching up with the chat, indexing issues.
We just made Joanne's day, though. I bet if she's been putting with meta descriptions forever, now we just said, because there's nothing more boring than doing that, is there? And it takes ages. And then to know that you're free of that, it's great. So hopefully we made your day, Joanne.
Okay, so let's go back to the topic, which is tools, of course. We've spoken about some WordPress plugins, SEO plugins, and performance plugins. When it comes to creating graphics and things for your site, do you have a tool that you use for that, or do you outsource that process? Doug?
I use Canva. I'm in Canva all the time. I use it for YouTube thumbnails. My assistant uses it. So, yep, that's what I do for graphics.
Canva has certainly changed everything, hasn't it?
It's turned us normal people into designers. I bet real designers hate Canva.
They do. They spit on it. They think, oh, God, how disgusting. What are you doing? Do you even know how to do any graphic design? Well, no, that's why I use Canva.
It's called the AI tool of graphic design.
It is. What I heard. Although, I mean, personally, I think that the background removing tool alone is worth the subscription.
That's awesome.
Because I remember trying to do that in Photoshop, following tutorials and that, trying to remove backgrounds. What a pain. So we're all agreed with Canva.
I use Affinity Photo a bit as well, which is a bit like Photoshop, but it's like $50 for a lifetime license rather than Photoshop.
Okay.
$100 a month. But yes, it's really lightweight as well. So they've got Affinity. Have got things, all of the Adobe tools basically. But
is that software you install, or is that web based?
Yeah, it's a desktop based one. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it only for Macs though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure it's not.
You can get it on your PC as well.
Good.
Simplify Garlic says he loves Canva. I use it for graphics and making short videos to use on Ezoic. Short videos to use on Ezoic. Okay, I've never used it for videos.
No, I've never used it.
But when it comes to his YouTube, he's using Premiere Suite, Premiere Pro for his videos. Wow, and Photoshop Pro Tools. Okay, so that's graphics covered now, and we've gone through some plugins. What else have you got on your list, Adam, regarding tools that you use all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tried to bucket them together. I've got 3 Chrome extensions, which are part of my daily. So one of them is called SEO Meta in One Click. It's a free extension. And I use the function for that. Whenever you go on a website, you can click it and it'll pull up the H tag structure. So you can see easily what the H1, H2, H3 tags are.
Okay, that's handy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I use SEO Minion on the daily, and I use that plugin or that Chrome extension to essentially auto expand. People also ask questions because it is a pain in the ass to keep clicking them to expand them if you want.
Yeah, I saw that. In fact, Sean Mars did a video on that just the other day, didn't he? I think, and I think he leaves that plugin like running overnight. Is that what you do?
No. For the people also ask ones, you select it based on time. So you can say like 5 seconds of opening, 10 seconds, 30, or a minute, or whatever.
But I guess if you leave it running overnight, you'll end up with thousands of people also ask questions.
Yes and no, but they get less and less relevant the more you go. So 30 seconds is more than enough to find the relevant ones. Like,
okay. That's a good plugin. I'm definitely going to check that out. And your third one?
The Ahrefs SEO Toolbar. So quickly, I can see what the DR is of websites on page one for a specific.
Yeah,
term.
that's handy. Do you need a Ahrefs account for that?
You do, but I'm not sure if it works with the free one. It might do. I'm not sure, but you definitely need an account for it.
Okay. Mark, have you got any Chrome extensions that you use on a daily?
Beyond that, for niche sites, I'll tell you another one that I really love, just because I love it, because it's nothing to do with niche sites. But there's one called Group Leads. So I like to grow communities from my niche sites on Facebook groups, and there's a plugin called Group Leads, which you will automatically put it into your email marketing tool when you accept them on Facebook as well. So if you accept them into the group, if one of the questions you've asked is asking for their email address, if they want to get on the mailing list, then that extension will automatically add it to MailChimp or to ActiveCampaign or whatever you're using, rather than having to copy and paste them out. So Group Leads was awesome. Cool. And the other one is that there isn't anything to do with SEO sites. It's Clipboard History Pro. If you when you copy and paste something and then you think, I need that, and it's on the clipboard, then you copy something else and you realize you've overwritten it on the clipboard. It's like a clipboard history, basically. So you can go back.
So you can go back and see everything that you copied. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's handy.
So it's a browser extension, but it doesn't just work in the browser. It works anywhere. So anywhere you copy anything on your computer, you can go back 4, 5, 6 steps or whatever. Or if you change the password and you forget to save it into your password manager or something, you can kind of grab it out.
What was that called, Mark? Because I definitely 100% need that.
Clipboard History Pro. There you go. See.
Wait,
and then
is this a
favorite? No. So it's Chrome.
Yeah. Okay.
History Pro. Making a note of that.
Doug, have you got a gem of a Chrome extension that you use that we might not be aware of?
So, I don't have anything outside of maybe the normal, but LastPass is amazing if people don't use it.
Okay, for passwords and all that stuff. Yeah. I use Dashlane. I think that's similar.
Yep. And then I have Grammarly as well. Premium.
Grammarly, yep.
So that's very helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Keywords Everywhere is still one that I use all the time. And I was going to say one odd thing. I recently got a new laptop. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try Safari. So I did hop over to Safari. I've been using it for like the last week or two, and it's fine. Like I'm not in the weeds for a lot of the things that we're talking about. So, like the Ahrefs extension or some other extensions that would only be available on Chrome, I'm not using them on a day-to-day basis. So if I need to fire up Chrome, I can, but yeah. Mine are more sort of basic.
Yeah, I've got to say, I've been using Firefox recently. I find Chrome got a bit slow. I don't know what's going on with it, but yeah.
I'll tell you another good one is called What Font. If you're designing your website, you click on it and basically you hover over anywhere on the page and it'll tell you what font that is.
That's kind of handy.
So if you think, oh, that's a nice font, and you don't know what it is, you just click it, hover over it, and it'll tell you the size of it and everything as well. It's awesome.
Handy little tools that are just so useful. There's a couple I just want to mention. If you haven't got Canva Pro and you do want to remove the background from an image for free, there is remove.bg, which will do it for you for free, up to a certain size. Generally, they're fine for web. Anything really big, it won't do, but you'd have to pay for. So remove.bg. The other one that I find myself using now and again is convertcase.net. I think that's the right URL. So when you've got a bit of text, maybe it's a title or a headline, and you want to change the capitalization, maybe you want to capitalize each word or whatever, you can just stick the text in there and it's got all the different options in terms of capitalization, make it all uppercase, lowercase, whatever. It's kind of handy, just a little tool.
Alex, that's what Excel is for. That's what Excel is for.
Well, you have to run some macro or something?
Excel, right?
No, if I'm just copying into WordPress and I need to change it, I ain't got time to fire up Excel. Now, we've touched on keyword research a little bit because we've mentioned keywords everywhere and the Minion one and all that kind of stuff. What is your general toolbox when it comes to keyword research? Doug?
KW Finder and Ahrefs. Those are
Okay.
probably the two that I use most of the time.
Perfect, short and sweet. And obviously keywords everywhere you mentioned within your browser.
Yep.
Adam?
Yeah, just a quick one before we go into that. I'll answer that in a sec. But I forgot about the other Chrome extension, which I use a ton, which people would find really helpful is Word Counter Plus, where you can highlight text and tell you how many words are on a page as well, which is interesting.
So you can check out how long an article is, or paragraph, or whatever.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. So onto the keyword research stuff, Ahrefs and SEMrush, combined with doing lots of manual searches as well. Like I'm a big fan of like using the people also ask questions, using Google auto search and auto suggest, and the related queries at the bottom. And then good old, like I mentioned, Excel. I've got Excel open 24 hours on my computer because taking data from Excel, from Ahrefs and SEMrush, and people also asked, and maybe even keyword sheeter, it's called now, not keyword shitter. I don't know if I can swear on you or not, but
yeah.
Yeah,
well,
taking all those.
We're not on Doug's channel.
Taking all those and putting them together, like Excel is a massive part of kind of what I do. But then I can only go so far, and this is a big bugbear of mine of Excel. I get to the point where I've got them all in there, and I want to check for duplicates, for example, and the find functionality on Excel, I think is just horrible. When you put it into G Sheet and you do like Control and F to find, it's so much nicer. Like it highlights it for you. So I'm jumping all over the place where Excel is. So Excel to like 90%, and then into G Sheets for the rest. Then.
Yeah, I find myself just using G Sheets. Can you not just ditch Excel and do everything on the Google Sheets?
You can, but there's certain formulas which are a little bit different in Excel to G Sheets, and the other one which you can definitely do in G Sheets, but I find so much easier in Excel is the remove duplicate. So like highlight the data and click remove duplicate to remove it, and then also the text to column functionality. So if you want to break up like a URL and you want to break it up the / points, you can do that really easy in Excel. You just click it, select you want to break it at a / and does it. I couldn't do that in G Sheets without Googling what I need to do, basically.
Okay, it's just you're familiar with Excel, so you stick with what you know. That's fair enough. Mark, have you got anything to add then on when it comes to keyword research?
No, not really. Same as what Adam said. Okay. I generally use Ahrefs these days.
Nope. One question I do, I pretty much just use Google because I think that the data you get from Google is the real data, and the keyword tools are using some sort of other data, which is not always Google. Although I do like Low Fruits, I find that really good as a way of kind of scraping Google and doing all that stuff. And also Answer the Public can give you some other ideas, which I think you can get.
Answer the Public, don't they? Answer the Public are not the same as Also Ask, right? And they scrape their questions from the people also ask questions box, right?
I think they do, yeah. I don't know.
Not just that, though, I think. Answer the Public does other stuff as well.
They have other stuff.
Not just that.
Okay.
But yeah, a few of you mentioned Ahrefs. Now, a question I get quite a lot is, should I get Ahrefs? It's really expensive. Is it worth it? What would you say to that, Adam? Because it is expensive.
There's the free version, isn't there? I'm sure they still do the free version.
Yeah, but in terms of upgrading to the pro version, adding your sites, getting your ranking stuff, your backlink counts, all that kind of stuff, is that worth the money?
I don't know. I don't know what the difference between the free and the paid version is, but I don't use Ahrefs as a keyword tracker. I use SERP Robot for keyword tracking, and I don't really set up my sites as projects in Ahrefs. I find like the Ahrefs kind of like you do the crawl and it gives you the health report. That's horrible. There's so much rubbish in there. Like it doesn't make any. Yeah, I've seen sites. We've got some customer sites do over 1 million sessions a month and got like a health score of 40. I'm like,
yeah, I ignore that too.
Yeah.
But in terms of, say you were going to buy, an expired domain, or you were going to buy a website, would you use Ahrefs to check that site out, or would you use another tool?
Yeah, Ahrefs. Ahrefs over SEMrush for lots of it. We do use both. Like we use both of them when we're looking at an age domain. But if I had to pick one of the two, I'd pick Ahrefs. And if you are looking to buy like an age domain or something, you probably need like to look at what the anchor text profile is and where the backlinks are pointed to on the site and what the referring domains are. And I don't know if you can see that in the free version or not because I've never used it. But if you can't,
I don't think you can. No.
But don't they do a 7-day free trial where you could sign up, use it for 7 days, and cancel as well or something?
Maybe.
I so. I don't know what the free offers. I don't know how limited that is.
I guess you guys have got a company account, have you, on Ahrefs, so it's fine. You just all share it. Doug, do you have an Ahrefs subscription?
Yeah, and I was gonna say, if someone's wondering like if it's worth it, yeah, get the free trial, use it, see if it's critical. There's some good information you can get, but I would say most people probably don't need it all the time. So you could just get it for a month if you need it and use it as you find it's the only tool that'll do the thing you need. But yeah, if you're looking at like backlinks and doing that kind of research, I think it's really the only tool out there that has like a respectable database. I think the rest of them are far inferior at this point.
Yeah. Okay, we're rapidly approaching the end of the stream, so I'm just going to quickly rattle through a few questions from the chat. I did just see one. Kyle asks, do backlinks come naturally from other sites? What do I need to do to start getting links to my site? Let's rattle these answers off. Adam.
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to Google, then yeah, you write great content and people are going to link to it. But we all know that's not really the case. Over time, as your site builds authority and you start ranking number one for pieces, then you'll pick up backlinks as well naturally. But to get to number one, you need backlinks, and you're not going to get them if you're not really in like the top three. So there's that chicken and the egg. You've got to build links before you start acquiring them naturally. Is my thought on that.
Yeah, and it's hard to build links. Isn't it? You've got to outreach. You've got to do all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Farhad, it had to come eventually just because Doug's on. What's your opinion on AI writing tools?
And actually, can I take this real quick? This is going to be a surprise, but I'm going to come out with it here. I actually have boss mode on Jasper AI. I love that tool. I use it every
Doug,
day.
what happened to the turnaround?
Something's happened. I don't know. He's lying. He's pulling it. Because I saw your stream last night, Doug, and I was on it. It's in your chat. Okay, AI writing tools. They're just like any other tool. They're a tool. They're not a solution to your content writing problems. You still need to write content. It's a bit like just having a pen. You know, it's hard to write content without a pen or without a laptop. It's just a tool that you can use. Don't use AI to do your research because it's not very good at doing that. You need to give it the facts and figures and the information that you want it to write about. And you need to learn how to use the tools properly. Some people love them, some people hate them. I'm doing experiments with them at the moment in terms of creating the content, in the entire site with AI content. But of course, we're not just churning content out willy-nilly. The content is structured. It's being put together by someone who knows about the subject and who's putting the data and the information in. So I love them. I think they can overcome writer's block. For things like, when you get to your About Us page, you need to write a couple of paragraphs about yourself and you just no idea. Pop in your facts. You like football, you like drinking beer, you've had sites for 10 years. Pop those facts in, boss, you've got 2 paragraphs done. That's how I like it. You need a headline for your email. It'll churn out 10 different ones. You choose which one's best. You can edit it as you like. It's a tool. Doug.
I'll just pop in and say, I come down hard on the AI tools, but they can be used, just like you're saying, Alex, respectable. However, I will say you need to think about yourself. Like, do you want to become a better writer or do you want to be a better user of those tools? And for me, I want to be able to communicate better. And the only way to do that is to practice writing. You can learn it. It could actually give you a head start, but I think at some point you have to do it yourself if that is your goal. And I am not telling anyone what their goal is. You can do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
I think that's
Mark, Adam, what are your thoughts?
People say AI content a lot. I think people think they're just using them out of the box. And
you just press a button and boss, you got a 1,000-word article.
So it's still human content, but it's like you say, AI can give you some pointers and stuff. So
but it's not an article spinner. I mean, we on my stream last night, I actually created on the live stream last night. In 15 minutes, we put together an article on how to manifest yourself taller. So very factual article. And
wow,
it was fine. And then we put some of the article through a spinner just to see what would happen, and the difference is quite clear. I mean, a spinner just literally is like a thesaurus, isn't it? That just changes every word for a similar word of a similar meaning and makes a load of complete gibberish. But Yeah, you can check the article out. It's the latest one on knowledgeablemind.com. That was what I produced in about 10 minutes last night whilst streaming and chatting. So if you're lazy and you're not a very good writer, it's perfect for people like me.
I'm interested to go and read Alex's About Us pages now to see what kind of stuff has come up with.
Actually, talking about this, I don't know. I don't know if you guys got any experience on this. So the reason I was talking about Us pages is that I went through two of my sites, Dart Picks and Best Corn Popper, and based on an article I read the other day, I think it was Matt Diggerty or maybe it was Matt Woodward, one of them. He had a big post about things you can do to improve your SEO, and one of them was to basically increase the trust of your site. So by having a good About Us page. But the other thing that was mentioned was adding an address, like a postal address, and a phone number to give your site more credibility, which in theory Google will see and increase your rankings. Do you guys have any thoughts or experience with doing this? So, making sure you have an About Us page, a Contact Us page with some proper contact details on, that kind of thing.
All the sites I have got good About Us pages, but they don't go as far as an address. Although I did have a site, I've sold it now, where I added an address, and I basically, I don't know, there's a bit of a hack for it. You can go on, I think it's the FedEx website, and look at where they allow you to have post boxes.
All right, just use that address.
Store. Just use that address, and then I used the same phone number as the FedEx store and changed the last digit. But then I went a step further, and I also added organizational schema to the About Us page as well.
Okay.
So rather than just being on there, you have actual schema. And then I took it even a step further by I got a load of actual business citations then for the website, which had the name, address, and phone number. And
so it looked like a proper business, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with citations, I think they are really hard to index. So what I did, and this is probably like a bit more advanced on the schema side, in the organizational schema, you can set the business's social media accounts. But rather than set them as social media accounts, I set them as the citations. So this business is the same as this citation. This business is the same as this citation. And it got them indexed quite well. But I did that along with 50 other things when I bought the website, and the site grew quite quick, but I can't pinpoint it to be in, I don't know what it was, but that was just a small part.
So we don't know whether adding a phone number and address or contact us page.
I don't know, but I've done it, yeah.
But in theory, it should have an effect. I mean, end of the day, there's 300 or so signals, isn't there, that Google uses to work out whether a website's worth ranking well, and maybe it's one of them. Okay. Let's rattle through. Where are we on the likes? 43. We did ask for 50. Did we? Was it? No, 50 likes. So another 7 likes. Get them coming in now. We can get a bit of funky party going. And WP Eagle merch up for grabs. Kill the music. Ian, we already have touched on rank math and stuff. We did it at the beginning of the stream. Yes, we do use it, but not hardly any of the features.
50 likes now.
50 likes. Let's drop a horn. Alex. My name's Alex. I love beer and football. I'm also a robot. How did you know? Okay. Well, before we go to the giveaway, is there any final tools that you'd like to mention that you just would recommend and that you can't live without?
Yeah, I've got
obviously
one.
Google Analytics. We mentioned Google Analytics. What do you think of GA4? Let's just quickly say that in a couple of words. GA4, what are your thoughts? Because I know that Google have now set what they call it, a sunset date or whatever for Universal Analytics, and we're all going to have to switch our sites. And in fact, if you're looking to sell your site anytime soon, now is probably the time to switch your analytics over so that you've got some data that's being collected. But it sucks, doesn't it? What do you think of it?
Massively.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they've got to create some stuff that's out of the box so that you can just say, I want this kind of profile, this kind of profile.
Yeah, because you have to kind of build all the
stuff.
reports from scratch, don't you? It's a nightmare.
Yeah. They've got to do that. I'm sure they've got to do that before they switch people over. I can only assume, but otherwise,
yeah.
become a GA4 consultant. You probably make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, there are loads of other, obviously, premium analytics tools that you can use if you pay for them. No, everyone sucks. Not everyone sucks. Everyone hates Google Analytics 4. Well, maybe we all suck as well in some respect.
There's a few tools for outreach. We haven't really mentioned outreach too much. We've got, so we use Mailshake for doing mass outreach for trying to acquire links. We also use Hunter, which is a tool for finding out email. Gathering email
I've spoken
addresses
about that
people,
before. That's a good tool, yeah.
So yeah, basically put in the URL and it'll give you any email addresses it knows for that domain. And it's all kind of stuff that it's found on the web. So it's all publicly available addresses. It's not some kind of private database or anything like that. And you can bulk do that. You can bulk upload a spreadsheet with URLs and it'll give you email addresses back. The last one was warm up. It's called Warm Up Inbox, which you don't want to be doing a lot of outreach with a cold inbox because you'll start hitting spam filters real quick. So Warm Up Inbox automates kind of sending emails back and forth and marking your emails as not a spam and things like that, so that you kind of get better deliverability.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you use to send out your emails on a final thought? I use MailChimp only because I've always used MailChimp and I can't bother to change and it seems to be pretty good. Doug, what do you send your emails out with?
I have Kajabi, so I have all my courses out there. So it's just like the all-in-one suite. It's not the best for everything, but it does enough that I'm happy with it. And then I also use Aweber as well for another
that's
email
old
list
school.
that I have. Yeah, and they've like modernized it, so it's fine. But I'm not doing anything fancy there. It's just for one of the podcasts that I have. And on that note, I'll throw in really quickly. I do use a tool called Auphonic, which probably won't impact a lot of people out there, but it masters audio for you. So people that are doing like YouTube videos or podcast, it can level everything out, remove hum. There's some automation that I use with it as well. So it's a very cheap tool. And I don't even think they have like an affiliate program or anything, but I use that like all the time and recommend it to people constantly.
Sounds good. And you guys for email, we'll end on your email list management and sender.
Active Campaign. We use that. It's got quite powerful automation and stuff in there, so we use a lot of that.
Perfect. Well, I think we should transition and do a giveaway. If you want to win some WP Eagle merch, got t-shirts or mugs, then just say something in the chat right now, and we'll transition. Fire up the wheel of names.
I'm going to try and win too.
Oh well, there we go. There's my search console. Should have probably closed that. Never mind. Okay, yeah, let's get the music going. So if you want to say something, yeah, just say anything in the chat right now.
This is the exciting part. This is the
this is what they've been waiting for. Maybe.
Yeah. As the marketer in me is coming out, can we plug our stuff because everyone is listening and paying attention?
Yeah, sure. Say
right
you
now.
got 30 seconds now. What are you plugging?
Check out my podcast, Mile High Fi. It's about personal finance and financial independence. Or if you dig all the stuff that we're talking about, the Doug Show. There's probably a link somewhere you could find this.
Yeah,
stuff.
there's links to the guys' channels in the description of this stream.
Thanks.
Mark, Adam, you want to plug anything?
Mark can go for it.
We have the live streams right as well. So we have 3 a week, including this one. So Tuesdays and Thursdays. So our YouTube channel, Niche Website Builders. Got a couple of Facebook groups, Niche Website Builders and Niche Website Flippers. Head over to those.
Oh, we did launch a new service this week as well, actually, which is if you want us to look at and vet a domain for you, an age domain, then you can now go to the website and you can order like a full vet package for that. So we'll look at it, we'll video our thoughts on it, we'll give you some ideas on monetization angles and red flags or whatnot, and then you can even book a call to chat about it with me or Mark. Essentially, we'll talk you through our findings and have a little half an hour of our time with that.
That sounds like a good service because it's nerve-wracking buying expired domains and doing your due diligence and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And in Niche Website Builders, you guys just published a blog post, a new case study, right? It's pretty amazing is what I heard.
That'd be Doug's blog, yeah. Doug wrote a blog for the Niche Website Builders website. It's good.
Check it out.
It's a good case.
Go check it out.
So
We're adding 200,000 words of content over the next 4 months, I think, to your existing site, right, Doug?
Yep, you got it.
Nice.
Yeah. And we've already written a ton of content for that already, so it'll be interesting to see what happens now over the next 6 months or so.
It's already getting 50, 60,000 sessions, isn't it, Doug?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So.
Perfect.
Yes.
Go and check out the Niche Website Builders blog. All right, let's do this. You're all in? I think you're all in. I hope you're all in. Here we go. I'm not going to do the drum roll. It crashes the software. Good vibes, Brian.
Oh, I need to change it to longer, like you said on ours.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
I
this
like the
sprinted
anticipation.
Remember 2 months.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Brian won an us stream yesterday. That would have been funny. That's close. Oh, it's painful. It's painful.
Oh,
Chris FTS.
Wow, they really does swing it out when you go for that longer one, isn't it?
Chris, are you there? You've won, friend. Just drop me an email, eagle@wpeagle.com. You can find all my merch over on wpeagle.com. And yeah, let me know your size if you want clothing and your address, and I'll get something out to you. Let's transition back over there. Hang on. There we go. What?
Smooth.
I don't know why it didn't play the video then. Play.
It did.
It did play, yeah.
It did, good. We got the transition video. I think it's getting slicker every week.
It is.
I don't know. We'll find out next week because we're back on Doug's channel, aren't we, next week?
yeah. Back on my channel, which, I don't have the transitions and stuff.
We can
may
send
be
you them.
able to-
Mark will send you them.
We didn't get to talk to you about
Okay.
your jet setting either too much. Like you did a little bit, but about your
Yeah.
in front of your talk, but we're talking about your private jet last stream. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that one.
I love the way Tony from Simplify Garden said smoother than some I see Adam, because Mark tried to emulate your transition, Alex, on our channel, and just he messed it right up.
Yeah, well,
Right up.
we're practicing. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. It's we've come to the end of the stream. It's been good fun. There are loads of tools there. Maybe, I don't know, someone at Niche Website Builders could make a list of them and put them on a blog post somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. We talked about it a lot. There was definitely a few useful Chrome extensions and stuff mentioned, wasn't there? So, or you just have to watch it back. I don't know. If we do get a list together, we'll of course let you know. Okay. Any parting words, Mark?
no, just check out our stream tomorrow. The website investing show. And I forgot what the topic is, but yeah, it's good. It's going to be a good topic.
Building versus buying. And we're talking about
Building versus buying. That sounds good.
Yeah, part 2. So part 1's already on last week. You missed it. So yeah, join the stream for that tomorrow.
Okay, Doug, any final thought?
I got an awesome episode coming out tomorrow, both on YouTube and the podcast feed, Doug Show. Somebody lost 30% of their traffic and then recovered it. So we go through all the steps. It's Marty McLeod, friend of many of us. He's a very friendly dude. So that's coming out tomorrow, 31st. Please check it out.
Okay,
Nice.
sounds good.
Marty's awesome. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that one. Okay, and that's it then from us. I will be streaming tomorrow, all being well, just hanging out with you guys, doing some work, that kind of stuff. Probably doing some more work on Knowledgeable Mind, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, other than that, check out everyone's channels, links in the description. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I did have a little subscribe button, is that working? Hey, there we go.
Nice.
Nice.
All the effects. But yeah, on that note, bid you all farewell, have a good day, good luck with your websites, and we'll be back again next week. Same time, but on Doug's channel, and we'll see you then.
Thanks, everyone.
The music is just
Thanks,
ending,
Alex.
we've got the timing right. Let's see if we can transition our way out of here. Bye-bye!